All right, I thought it would be fun to do an early big block comparison of different casting number cylinder heads and why I think the big block Chevy platform that came out in 1965 dominated all the other auto brands. I know, sorry you Chrysler and Ford guys, but these things made ridiculous horsepower, even factory. So let's go over some heads. So this is a 290 head. This would be an LS5. So I'm going off the last three of the casting number. So this is a 290. So this would be an LS5. This is an oval port head. And this head is a 291. It's only one digit different. And this is a rec port head. And look at the difference in those ports. And guys are saying, yeah, the 290 heads, and there's some other oval port castings, and you can make horsepower with them. I think these had a 208 intake valve. These came from the factory with a 219-inch intake. So 1970 would have been the 290 era, 291. This is an LS6 head right here. And then the high horse head for 68, 69 ended in 840. And that would be this head right here. And that is also a rectangular port head. And there's no difference. The 291 and the 840, they're identical. The chamber sizes are the same. In fact, this is an 840 right here. And it was on the same engine. See these two heads that have the orange paint on them? They're on the same engine. So they had a 291 and an 840, but they are virtually identical. 68, 69 high horse rec port was 840. 70 LS6 was 291. LS5 was 290. In 67, the head ended in 391. And those are 1 year only, and they're harder than heck to find. You can find them still, but they're expensive. But they're kind of rare because they were 1 year only. And then the 65, 66 head ended in 858. And those are getting kind of hard to find too, especially for the Corvette guys that are looking for the high horse, the 4¼ horse 396s. This 290 head would have been on like a 350 horse 396, or a 360 horse 454, or a 390 horse Corvette 454. Another interesting thing, so these are two original GM LS6 intakes right here. They are this super low pancake style because they had to clear the hood of a Corvette. And it's kind of funny that they put this not as high of a performance manifold on the high horse Chevelle, called it an LS6. And in the Corvette, it was an LS6. And again, it had to clear that Corvette hood. This is a intake manifold that ends in 163. Right there is the casting number. And these were on the passenger cars that actually had some hood clearance. So look at the difference. These are all 163s. And these are LS6. And look at the difference in the profile. You can't even, you got that huge port sticking up, high rise. And then you got this pancake thing, and it's just kind of funny that they called the LS6 a higher horse engine, which they were powerful. This is another set of 291s, and this would have been a 1970 LS6 top end. So these heads right here, and either one of these intake manifolds would be either an LS6 Corvette or an LS6 Chevelle. And it's funny, people ask me where I find this stuff. Boats. I'm not finding this on cars. I'm finding this stuff on old boats. I found a 67 375 horse 4-bolt main 396 in a day cruiser that had 200 hours on it. That is a valuable engine. I know there's some controversy on this as well, but the blocks have a P. See the P right there? Or it's a T. And people say, no, that's the plant that it was cast in. No, the P is for passenger car. If you have a 4-bolt main, anything big block with a P on it, that thing is solid gold. If it was in the 60s, if it's a 396, a 427, or a 454, if it's got a P, that's passenger car. And any of these cloned Chevelles and Corvettes and Novas and whatever, where there's a T on the bell housing right there, the T is for truck. And that is not a passenger car block. So this engine here is just a nothing. It's a 496 actually. It was a 454. It's pretty easy to stroke these to 496. It goes from a 4-inch stroke crank to a 4 1/4. So it's only 1/8 of an inch in each direction. And then if you use an aftermarket rod, I put an H-beam rod in this one. It's a Molnar, and it's such a low profile rod that you don't even have to clearance the block. It'll just bolt right in with no problems. I wanted to show this engine because these are a rectangular port open chamber head. So if you notice the chambers on all these heads, going back, the 858s, which are 65, 66, the 840s are 68, 69, the 391, which was 67 only, they all had this small chamber. Don't have an open chamber head off. These have a little bit more. You can see right here, it's a little more open, but it's this whole, where this line is here. Let me push this over so we can see it a little better. This line right here, all this is removed in the open chamber head. All the heads in the 60s, from the mid 60s to 1970, they were all closed chamber. This head was never on a production car. This came in 1970. They started selling these over the counter. In fact, these heads are dated 74. You can see right there. And the 990 head, there's a couple other casting numbers that are also rectangular port, but these are an open chamber head and they flow way better. The early heads are good. It's kind of a trade-off, honestly, because on these heads, you got to run a big dome. On these heads, you don't have to run as big of a dome, but you sacrifice some flow because with the closed chamber head, when this valve opens, it doesn't do any good to have a big valve if it's shrouded. The whole chamber is shrouding it. And with the open chamber head, you have both of the valves quite a bit more unshrouded, so the air can flow around the valves easier, and it makes the heads flow more CFM. But yeah, these came off of a boat, and I didn't even have to do the guides in these heads. These are a really nice set of original 291s. So that would be an LS6 top end there. And then again, if you want to make horsepower and you don't mind putting a gigantic dome, this engine right here had some 990s on it, and you can see that is a honking dome on that thing to get some compression out of it. Okay, this is a 70 Chevelle engine right here. It's a 512 block. That's the 3 numbers that it ends in. And you see the P right there, and that's for passenger car. So that is the valuable one if you're trying to restore a classic car. The engines were completely different for a truck and a passenger car. The trucks had low compression. They had different pistons. I don't think any of the trucks had forged pistons. And so they P and T'd. So they knew if it was going to be a truck assembled engine or if it was going to be a passenger car assembled engine. This is a 454. It's also got a P. This one is J1373. And this one here is probably a late 69, if I can get that to, that's a crappy, yeah, it's L29. So that would be December 2nd. 69, and that's for a 70 Chevelle right there. This one has the 290 heads on it. It's got the oval ports. So this one right here has a P, and it's a 2-bolt main, and it right above the oil filter boss, it's got this small plug here. That's where your oil pressure sender usually goes on a big block. This one right here is a 4-bolt main. And by the way, they're completely 100% interchangeable. It does not matter if it has a T or a P, only to the collectors. So here's a 4-bolt main, and look at how big this hole compared to this one. And the reason is because that had an auxiliary oil cooler, or it could have if you wanted to. And also notice that that one has a T instead of a P. So this was a truck block, and it makes sense. This is the Chevelle engine. And if it had a 4-bolt main, it basically have this huge plug right here. This is an actual factory for that hole. So see how small, and that's just got a fitting on it for an oil pressure gauge. This is a 512 block. The 3 last numbers end in 512. And the 4-bolt main version is also a 512. So the only difference is the machining. They machined for 4-bolt main caps, and then they put the bigger plug right here for the potential oil cooler. That's your dead giveaway if you're looking for a 4-bolt main engine, big block. If it's got this giant plug right there, that's how you know. If it's got that little guy, it's a 2-bolt. Notice this one too, small fitting, it's a 2-bolt main. So to summarize, the 858, 391, 840, and the 291 cylinder heads were identical. There is virtually no difference. It's just 1965-66 was 858, 67 was 391, 840 was from 68 and 69, and the 291s were 1970, the LS6. The LS6 legitimately made 450 horsepower with that manifold, with this manifold and this pancake. If you put this factory manifold and headers on an LS6, now you're talking about an engine that makes way over 500 horsepower. And it was pretty easy to do. It was just a bolt on. So passenger car block with a 4-bolt main is worth gold. Getting hard to find. 4-bolt mains also had the bigger plug above the oil filter for a potential oil cooler. So yeah, they made horsepower back then. They still make horsepower. It's super easy to put a open chamber square port or rectangular port head on a 496 and make 600 horsepower. Here's the cam that's in this engine. Always write down what's going on so I don't forget what's what and what got put into what. But yeah, it's pretty easy to make 600 horsepower with a stock 60s to early 70 GM cylinder head. You can do it with an oval port head. You got to do a lot of work to them to get them to flow versus just bolting one of these monsters on.